The Iowa Hawkeyes head to Market Square Arena, Indianapolis, Indiana.
Gamble. Yes!
Iowa is going to Phoenix.
Iowa's the Big Ten champion. Iowa wins the Big Ten tournament. It's good. It is good.
Wieskamp, his shot at the bar.
It goes in.
Luka Garza, 33 now. Remember, he had 44 at Chrysler.
Bohannon, way outside, launches the shot. Makes it home. Big time onions.
And a dunk by Keegan. And he dunked Gillis right to the floor with him. And the Hawkeyes are Big Ten champions. An old-fashioned stare down.
Sanford, who got it? This has really happened. Starts his running three.
Impose your will, the servant mentality, but we'll always play defense.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Bench Mob Carver. We got a lot of topics going on today, and it should be a fun episode. Obviously, we had Media Day come up. We had a few Hawkeyes in the news for better or for worse, and we got some more information on just the preseason thus far. So, Mitchell's back, Jesse's back, the whole gang's back together, and last time you saw us, we had our all-time draft. And we're going to get into the reactions we got from that draft. But first, Jesse and Mitchell, do you have anything to say before we kick this thing off?
Go ahead, Mitchell.
I just want everyone to know that that God so loved the world that he sent his only begotten son, that all those who believe in him should not perish but have eternal life. That's all.
Ditto. In the wages of sin is death, and the gift of God is eternal life in Christ Jesus our Lord. Aaron, if you do not quote scripture right now, you are booted off the podcast. So
you're actually excommunicated. I will call.
Jesus wept.
He did. Anybody says crying is unmanly, you can accuse them of a Christological heresy.
Exactly.
You just have to be crying for like the most like lame reason. You're like, leave me alone, guys. Even Jesus wept. Totally won't stand.
And we made him weep. So way to go, mankind.
Well, I think it was death that somebody died, which I guess that still is our fault, so that's fair.
Is it that, or is it the reaction to Lazarus's death? And he's maybe crying because he doesn't. The people don't think that Jesus can raise Lazarus. I don't know if I believe that take, but I have heard that take before.
I don't think I would.
I'm not saying it's a strong argument, but I've heard it made.
Anyways,
right.
WJesus, as always, we're gonna talk a little Hawks this time around. So Mitchell,
normal sized Hawks.
Wait, can they see the screen?
They can't. So I'm gonna
podcast. This is audio.
All right.
Yeah.
I guess. Do you have an intro? I have some things I want to say.
I was just gonna remind everyone what our teams were, and then
okay, yeah, go for it.
Start getting into the comments. So team 1, I believe this was Jesse's team, correct?
Yes.
All right. So
Jesse, yes, it's out of order. I gotcha. Yes, that's me.
Jesse, who is a well-known post in our space, went with a 4-guard lineup to start it out. DJ Armstrong, Devin Marble, Peter Jock, Roy Marble, and then of course, if you're gonna make up for all those guards, Luka Garza. And then off the bench, Brad Lohaus, Ricky Davis, Jordan Bohannon, head coach Brand McCaffrey. Team 2, I believe this was Mitchell's team. He has Andre Woolridge running the point, Adam Haluska running the 2, Jess Settles running the 3, Keegan Murray at the 4, AC Earl at the 5, and then off the bench he's got Ryan Bowen, Matt Gatens, and Peyton Sanford, and his head coach is the current probable GOAT of Iowa basketball head coaches, Tom Davis. And then myself, I had Ronnie Lester at the point. Probably would have won an Natty if we would have kept him in and he didn't get injured. Jared Uthoff at the 2, Chris Murray at the 3, Aaron White at the 4, Reggie Evans at the 5. And then off the bench, I have Bennett Sturtz, Greg Brunner, Joe Wieskamp, head coach Ben McCollum. A lot of forwards on this team. Very versatile.
I'm shocked you didn't start Bennett Sturtz, Aaron, because it seems like you're convinced already that he's the GOAT.
I do not think he will have a better season than Ronnie Lester did back in the day. But I think, oh gosh, this is going to be a hot take. He might be the second best point guard through our three teams.
I'm sorry. Andre Woolridge was a first team All-American, my guy. Wasn't he? Or second team? He was first or second team.
Bennett Sturtz's ceiling is high. I'm not saying he will. I'm just saying if he hits his ceiling, he will be.
Look, I just wish that the audience here could hear my facial expressions.
The GOAT of basketball isn't the GOAT without BJ Armstrong. That's my defense, Your Honor.
Actually, yeah, that's also fair.
He was third team All-American and the Israeli League assist leader. I have no comment. All right.
Wait, no, hold up. Go back to that. I want to say I saw a sentence I want to read. Go up. Go back.
No.
Go back.
It's not letting me get there because of the. There we go. Toolbar.
I don't believe you.
Okay.
I got it back.
As a senior, Woolridge became the first player to lead the Big Ten in scoring and assists. Bennett Sturtz is not doing that. That is above his ceiling. I'm just going to say it right now.
You think so?
Bennett Sturtz is not leading the Big Ten in scoring and assists.
Wait, okay, also, when BJ Armstrong graduated, he was the Hawkeyes' all-time leader in assists.
Yeah. No. Like, come on, bump the brakes. Look, will he be good? Probably. Hopefully.
He also ranked.
I'm a Hawk fan. I want him to be good.
He also ranked 6th on the school's all-time steals list and 4th in total points. I can't tell if that's now or if that's when he graduated, but it doesn't matter.
I enjoy how we got him from Nebraska. That's just cherry on top.
All right, now we can go back.
All right. Can I say he will be the best point guard out of all the bench if he hits a ceiling? Is he going to be better than J-Bo?
Iowa legend Jordan Bohannon.
Look,
he might not get the total
points. Was pretty solid. I could see Bennett Sturtz being at that level or above.
We're going to be disappointed if he's not better.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah.
Anyways, let's get to some comments.
Okay, hold on. Let me preface something here. I just want to say to anybody who's listening that I'm the one who posted it, and I did a bad job in the post of explaining that, one, we were not drafting players pre-1995, or excuse me, pre-1985, pre-Tom Davis era, and two, I did not explain why. So there were a lot of people that were really upset that we weren't including like Hawks from way back when, and they're like, "Oh, I know." There's one guy. I don't know if we'll get to this comment, but there's one guy's like, "Oh, you think there weren't any great Hawkeyes before 1985?" And I was like, "Dude, I put an edit in the post. I explained the reason why we did not draft before 1985 is because none of us are very knowledgeable about the Hawk, like I don't know that era of Hawkeye basketball before then, and so we felt." Well, at least for me, it was like I didn't want to draft before then. I mean, if you guys concur, you can say that as well. But like, I didn't want to draft before then because I don't want to draft/rank guys that I don't know anything about. Like, I don't want to draft and rank guys that I haven't like watched with my own two eyeballs for the most part. And like, there's some of these guys I haven't watched, to be completely honest. But that was the primary reason why we did not go earlier than 1985. From my understanding.
The only Hawkeye I can really know of, and I need to make sure I have his name right. I think it's Connie Hawkins. He was.
These guys will tell you. Every single one of them was like, "You mean you don't remember this guy who played at night? He played literally like World War II."
He was born in 1942. Like, dude, no, I don't. I'm sure he was fantastic.
This is one of the newer suggestions. That's one of the more modern suggestions. There are players here that played in the 1940s, and like, okay. Were there some valid critiques? Yes. And I can talk about the ones that like I looked into them and I'm like, okay, yes, you are probably right. But anyway, I digress. I'm done.
I feel like they were all against my team.
No, actually, I'm not going to lie. I think your team was the only team that had like a positive comment, but that's because 95% of comments were like, I think it was something about like Ricky Davis off the bench being a cheat code or something like that. and that was like the only positive comment about someone's team makeup that was made at all. There was like a couple guys that were like, "Oh man, I forgot about like Reggie Evans." I think was one of them. It was like, "Oh man, that man was like a machine. Like he would be great." But like there was like nothing about team breakdowns, which I did not explain well enough that that's what I was looking for.
You're telling me the people of Reddit don't have amazing takes and are very thoughtful in their responses?
Hey,
I don't even want to say that. I did a bad job of explaining. Were there some people who like took it the wrong way and like took offense at our teams? Yes. And I'm not going to like deny the fact that there were some people who did that. But at the same time, a lot of these critiques are super understandable given the fact that I did not explain what we were doing or our reasoning well enough.
And I don't think we can flame Reddit, because if we're going to see a growing listenership, that's probably where half of it's going to come from after this post.
I'm here to chat with my buddies. I don't care who's listening. If you are listening, thank you. But,
thank you for listening.
Main reason is just, I get to see my pals and I get to talk some hoops with my pals, and that's the main reason for this.
All right, yeah, we can get into that.
All right. So I'm going by best comment. I'm assuming that means the most upvoted.
That would be top.
All right, let's go top. So same thing. So the first thing was the Chris Street erasure. I knew that was happening. I knew that was going to happen.
I would like to formally apologize. After seeing a lot of these, I went back and I looked more. I thought I was kind of like aware of like who Chris Street was as a player and like all that kind of stuff. I was wrong. I did not know enough. And looking back, I probably would have drafted him. Okay, look, were there some people who were saying like he should have been like a first round pick, like a top 3 pick in this draft? Yes. And I think that is too far. But I probably would have drafted him as like a 6th man. Looking back, now that I've looked into it. Yeah. And anyway, yeah, we got hated on because I explained that most of us said we would pick him 9th or 10th. But again, after looking into it, I was wrong and I would pick him probably 6th.
I'm shocked I didn't have him on my mind either, because I think back to when J-Bo missed that free throw on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really my only exposure to him. But they made a pretty big deal out of that for a good reason. Fantastic player.
Yeah, my reasoning was just, dog, I have so many forwards on this team that like I was getting to the point where like I kind of wanted to take Chris Street, and I was like, there's just so many forwards. I need someone to at least go grab rebounds and play make for me. And so that really wasn't his thing. He wasn't really great shooter. He's just more like you want to get boards and you want to do the fundamentals right. That's why you would pick Chris Street. And yes, he should have gotten picked higher, but at the point I even thought about him, for my team, the way it was set up, it was kind of late for me.
Yeah, and I think like with you too, like I think we do have to recognize that like, okay, setting the story aside, I think I want to say Chris Street's junior year, he was 2nd team All Big Ten or 3rd team. I don't even know if there's a 3rd team. I want to say he was probably 2nd team All Big Ten, and he did have a really good start to his senior year. But at the same time, like I think Aaron, your starting center was like Reggie Evans. And can you actually scroll up and I can look at mine?
Yeah.
Mine was AC Earl, who was the Hawkeyes' leading scorer during Chris Street's time there, and was the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. And so, like, when we're looking at bigs, I think there are just like enough guys who, again, disregarding like the story, and you only look at like performance on the court, like you could probably like make a solid argument that like Chris Street is a top like 5 to 7 big in Hawkeye history just based off of his performance. But I think it's very clear that like he's, I don't know. I guess like it's one of those, I don't want us to get flamed for drafting Luka Garza, Reggie Evans, and AC Earl over Chris Street, even though he was very good and should have been picked in hindsight.
Yeah, I think now that I think about it, I would probably, if we had did it again, I would probably pick Chris Street over Greg Brunner. I think out of all like my forwards, like you have Utah, Murray, White. Brunner is probably the one I probably slipped up there a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, you also drafted Bennett Sturts at number 6.
I'd do it again.
Did that get flamed? That has to be in here somewhere.
I don't think Sturts did, but the McCollum pick did.
Let's keep going. No Fred Brown or John Johnson's. The things like this.
Those are the 1940s guys. To be fair, one of them did average like 30 a game for 2 years.
Yeah. Fred Brown was born in 1948. And then who's the other guy? John Johnson. And like with these, we'll kind of we'll talk. They exist, but we're not going to go too deep into it just because we've kind of prefaced that. Hey, we're not going to go super crazy with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dudes born in the 40s. I probably don't know very well. That's just Let's see. Our age is showing.
Yeah, I saw that comment.
That's kind of a compliment when you think about it.
Oh yeah, Mitchell responded to him. Hey, that's
I responded to a couple of them.
It's
Also,
true, though.
I definitely realized after I responded to somebody that I was wrong. I think Ronnie Lester was pick 4 instead of pick 3, and I think I said he was pick 3 here somewhere, and I didn't realize that until afterwards. But it's fine.
someone said OP must be 12 or 32 or 52 even, which I'll also take as a compliment because the dudes these
I
guys
thought that
be
was kind of funny, yeah.
it's like, yes.
These young bloods are probably 52.
Yeah.
Yes, like okay, there's this guy. There's a response to the 22 or 32 or 52 even where he says like Chris Street is like probably a top 5 Hawkeye of all time. Okay, when we've got national players of the year, when we've got like first team All-Americans, look, man.
Yeah, how do you comment on that given the circumstance? Again, Chris Street was fantastic. Top 5.
Chris Street is the definition of a Hawkeye.
Yes, culture.
Just like how
for sure.
I don't even know if this is a respectful comp, but Udonis Haslem is the definition of a Miami Heat player.
Yeah, gotta love you, dude.
I think in their like in Haslam's like prime, like he was like a really solid, like one of the better players on that rotation. But yeah, it's fair.
Yeah, if you're getting a jersey of a Hawkeye, when it could be a Chris Street one would be a great option. He's Hawkeye through and through.
Exactly. But yeah, Chris Kingsbury, I gotta check to see when he played before I can comment too.
He was an 80s player. I definitely did have him on my draft board.
Okay, is he? I'm thinking probably a
okay,
Luke
90s,
Olsen.
yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that Carter Kingsbury's pops?
I have no idea.
Oh, Carter Kingsbury came off the bench for us the last couple of years. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have gone back, would have drafted him, but very solid from what I know. And I guess if anyone else has any comments on Chris Kingsbury.
No, sir.
So we got 6 upvotes. So many people also thought he should have been drafted.
People are yelling at our podcast right now.
Yeah, I can just imagine. I don't know if it's coming from someone's house in Cedar Rapids. I don't know if it's coming from the freaking Oak Knoll in Iowa City, but there's definitely some people not happy with that. The coaches is what kills me. Okay. Lute Olson and what was that?
Oh, okay. There's one of these we should not even acknowledge, but never mind. Go ahead.
Lute Olson and George Raveling should have been picks 1 and 2. Look, Lute Olson, I can see that being a top 2 coach. George Raveling was a great recruiter, and which is why Dr. Tom had a very successful first couple seasons. Let's take a look at his record. I do not think George Raveling is better than Dr.
Like an 82% win percentage.
Let's see.
Wine percentage.
I'm going for speed here.
That's
52 and 38. It's not bad. I'm not saying he was a bad coach. What I am saying is you can't put him over Dr. Tom.
Wait, we should look up Tom Davis's win percentage real quick, just so we have the comparison.
This bar on top is being a little bit of a goober.
Okay, so 58.7% for Raveling.
66%.
Okay, yeah, 66%. Yeah, that's yeah.
And he did it over a longer period of like 13 years.
Mm-hmm. I would definitely also.
So, rest in peace, George Raveling. Fantastic coach, fantastic recruiter. Again, top 2 coach in Iowa history. You can't really convince me of that. I think maybe he should have been one of the coaches, maybe over Fran, maybe over Ben. Just given Ben hasn't coached a game here, and Fran had his ups and downs. So I can see maybe them being upset with like those 2 coaching picks. But yeah, other than that, that's really all I got from that. I am very shocked that Lute Olson didn't get picked.
I don't think any of these guys have tasted the Franwich.
We're gonna have to go out and like convince people with the Franwich that hey, he deserves a shot.
Well,
look, he wasn't that bad.
No, he was. I mean, win percentage was 0.589. I mean, 59%.
Hey, that's about what George Raveling was. So according to that one guy, he was as good as the top 2 coach in Iowa history.
And I imagine Fran's tenure was far longer.
Oh, yeah. For sure. Yeah.
I think it was 15 years in.
Well, hold on. 54 and 38. So he played like 90 games. So he probably coached for 3 seasons.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Don't at me, Reddit person.
Diligent, quiet. Or excuse me, no, recent _office 2307.
Jeez, I just imagine just like the next comment would be like, "What are you talking about? Friggin' Todd Licklider was a top 5 coach of Iowa at all time."
There's a comment about a Licklider on here.
Okay, I'm excited.
I almost responded to it. I think I thought about it and then I just forgot.
We got Ed Horton and 3 exclamation points, so he's very upset Ed Horton did not get picked.
I'll look up Ed Horton.
Russ Millard, Kevin Gamble. I do like Kevin Gamble. Greg Stokes, also possible. Matt Bullard, Chris Kingsbury off the top of my head. I love how it's like not even just like, oh, if these 3 teams played, who would win? It's, I can't believe you didn't draft this guy.
Oh, 100%. None of these comments actually break down like, hey, I think this team would probably have the edge over this team.
It's
I don't
just
think
a bunch
there's
of complaining.
single analysis. Yes, it is. It's like, hey, you didn't draft my favorite guy. When I was 12 years old in 1932, I saw him set the scoring record by scoring 7 points against Utah. I don't know. That was a totally made up scenario.
Yeah, I do think that they're like some of these people here, kind of like, okay, I guess what I assumed that we were going for was we were drafting the guys as they were at Iowa. And so like there were guys who were like, not that they were bad at Iowa, but they weren't like the guy or like a high achieving player at Iowa, but then they ended up like working their way into an NBA team and having like a successful career. And so they're like, oh, this guy had a 12-year NBA career. Why didn't you draft him? And it's like, well, if you look, I mean, should he have been drafted above Jordan Bohannon? Maybe. Above Bennett Sturts, who's never played a Hawkeye game? Perhaps. I don't know who my 8th man was, but it's probably over that guy.
And it's kind of like, I think Ricky Davis is the ultimate of that, of just like, he wasn't bad at Iowa. He was good at Iowa. Never made like an all Big Ten team, but when he got to the NBA for like the Celtics and the Heat, like, and the Wolves, he was just that guy, you know?
Yeah. Like he was in some sense like more productive as an NBA player than he was as an Iowa player. And we were looking at this draft board as they were as an Iowa player, basically.
The George Kittle
Ed Horton. Ed Horton was a late 80s player who averaged 18 and 10 his senior year. Did not make any Big Ten teams. He also, I guess shot 55% from the field, which is pretty normal for a big. But yeah, had a pretty like consistent progression. Like freshman to senior year, he averaged 4 points, 8 points, 12 points, 18 points. And so again, like senior year at Horton, like sure, probably borderline. But again, like I think primarily we were looking at guys that were like showed that they were at the top of their conference.
Like would this have gotten less complaints if we just went like 15 rounds and just drafted like every Hawkeye who ever had any consideration for like the NBA or all Big Ten teams?
I think if we would have had more time to like research the earlier era and look through all of those players and all that stuff, we probably would have gotten a lot less complaints. Of course, there's always going to be complaints every time that you post anything about anything. People are just going to find a way to like, I don't know. People are drawn to the things that they disagree with. If you like the whole, there's like a story about this teacher who like went up on the board and they did like 10 multiplication problems and they did 9 right and they got the last one wrong. And like the students were like laughing at him. And like the point of the story, I don't even know if this is real, but like the point of the story was like, okay, you can do basically everything right, but if you do one thing wrong, the people are going to find that one thing wrong and laugh at it, kind of thing. And again, not that we didn't have room to improve, because we definitely did. This was not, an objectively correct draft by any means, except for Aaron's. His was objectively correct.
Can't wait. My team's the only team that has things to prove, which is really funny.
Yeah. Anyway,
this was Parables with Mitchell, and I appreciated that, and got a lot of complainers, and I'm sure we'll have some more as we keep scrolling.
I just like how there's 12 upvotes and 28 comments.
Yeah. We were getting hated on.
We got ratioed. Okay, there's 16 upvotes on the Chris Street one. So yes, we did get ratioed. Which again,
yes, we did.
We are not.
I think the Chris Street one is fair. Again,
yes, and the no Fred Brown and John Johnson 2 ratios. Okay, I can live with that.
Did I upvote it? Oh, I'm not logged in, so I don't know if I can. Yeah. Anyways, not seeing Lil Licklider anywhere. Oh, he's talking about John, isn't he?
That's the one that I was going to respond to, and I was going to respond to it and say, if I ever see John Licklider on a basketball court again, I'm drinking bleach.
Look, it's not like, I'm sure if he would have gone off to like a JUCO or an NAIA, he would have been fine. D1, Big Ten. That was rough. That was a rough time.
Yeah.
Let's see. This one really gets into it. Don Nelson averaged 21.1 and 10.5 at Iowa and was a two-time All-American. He won 5 NBA championships as a player. The Celtics retired his number. He won NBA Coach of the Year 3 times. He is an NBA Hall of Fame as a player and a coach.
But I feel like, again, he could have stopped after the first pair. I guess he's got it split up in different lines.
I appreciate that at least he went in depth with his reasoning. He's like, hey, this is a guy that I think you should have drafted, and here's what I think why. Instead of just listing off 5 players and not putting any reasoning as to why you think they deserve to be there. Like, I appreciate this guy.
Bob Bobertson? Jim?
And again, like, I think if we were either drafting for that early era of Hawk basketball, or like including their entire career as a basketball player and not just their tenure at all. Actually, not even disregarding that. Literally, just if we would have done the earlier era, he would have been drafted. But yeah, this is one of the examples of people like where I think I didn't explain well enough that we were only drafting for their production at Iowa, because Don Nelson's like NBA career as a player and a coach, of course, is exceptional and like probably one of the, if not the like best professional basketball resume in Iowa basketball history, apart from Luka Garza being a part of 2 Western Conference Finals teams with the Minnesota Timberwolves, of course.
And 2
back to back.
Hey, that's 2 more. That's 2 more than MVP Joel Embiid has. So,
don't get me started.
Also,
I could do an entire monologue on Joel Embiid. Despise
is that
him.
the same amount of conference finals as 3-time MVP Nikola Jokic?
Is it?
Oh,
has he only been in 2? Because
he 2020 and 23 for sure.
Yes, I mean, obviously, we didn't play him the last 2 years.
As a Heat fan, I would prefer not to talk about 2020 and 2023. Thank you very much.
Yeah, let's just not talk about the Nuggets at all.
Oh, man. Anyway, I was really off track.
It's unfortunate that Luka's on the same team as Naz Reid, as NBA legend Naz Reid.
Oh, not anymore. You didn't hear Luka Garza signed with Aaron's favorite team.
Wait, what?
Yes. You didn't know he's a Celtic?
No. Are you actually being real?
This was like 4 months ago.
He signed with the Celtics.
Hey, Mitchell, do you have that drinkable bleach that was just
previously mentioned? My John Licklider batch?
Yeah, I'd like all of it.
Oh.
Wow, that ruined my whole life. I hope you guys are happy.
You want to see something disgusting?
No, I'm pooping and vomiting as we speak simultaneously. This is awful.
Look at that.
This is the worst day of my life.
For those of you listening, Aaron just Googled Luka Garza Celtics Media Day, and we're looking at a zoomed-in picture of him in a Celtics jersey.
This is so terrible.
That was the worst day of my life when I figured it out. You can't be smiling and be on Boston.
I was sad to see him go as a Wolves fan. He was a fan favorite.
Wow.
But disregarding how you guys feel about Boston, he is going to have a really good opportunity to get PT because
there's no centers there.
Rotation, so he will get some good time.
I don't want to force a transition here, but since we are talking about the NBA, do we want to transition to, and clearly I didn't know about Luka Garza, do we want to talk about the other NBA contracts on our plate here? Or,
we'll get there. Let's do a little speed round to end.
Well, sorry, I tried to force a smooth transition.
No, you're good.
I'll just screw off.
Just the last couple comments we got. Reggie Evans was the best power forward center we ever had until Garza. A guy was double machine. I think he and Garza on the same lineup would be incredible. Well, we split them up, and they're going to have to go against each other. That's a good matchup, especially with Reggie Evans' defense. Any list doesn't have Ronnie Lester as a top guard is not a good list.
He's literally a top guard.
He's literally the top guard. Yes.
I have fantastic
He was the top guard picked. I responded to it, and I was like, yes, he was. This is the one where I was wrong. When I responded, I thought he was pick 3 and he was pick 4, but he was the top guard picked.
Yeah.
And then I did a more in-depth explanation.
Well, does it really matter if he's 3 or 4 though? If Aaron's got both picks, I mean, really, then it's interchangeable.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. But yeah, this is the guy that said right in the middle of the comment, "Are you saying that great players didn't come to Iowa before that?" And I was like, dude, I literally explained in the post.
That's a yoga stretch right there.
Yes, and then I quoted myself, and I was like, hey, I actually put in the original post why we did this, and in case you didn't read it the first time, there you go.
It just kills me that, And he listens that Ronnie Lester's not the top guard is a terrible list. And like he's literally my starter. I have Fantastic for News benched 42. He's my starting point guard, so I'd say choose my team if that's how you really feel.
And again, like he literally was the top guard picked. If you hadn't picked him, I would have picked him. So regardless, he would have been the top guard picked.
And he got 2 upvotes on that. So
shout
out Reddit.
And then I would have
every
picked
time
him.
you post it, Reddit counts you as an upvote. So everybody automatically upvotes their own comments. So if it's 2, it just means one person agreed with you.
I like to think this dude, though, maybe he's a very nice guy or woman, but he might just be waiting on the Hawkeyes subreddit, just waiting to just dump his trauma on everybody. I hope that's his comment on everything. Any list that doesn't have Ronnie Lester, and it's just like a football post. I think he's just ready with that line. Clearly, I mean, he's not looking at our teams.
Hey, maybe it is Ronnie Lester.
Yeah, that's right. He's doing some PR.
Look, no, it's Ronnie Lester, and then his list at the end of the comment is just the guys that he watched growing up.
Oh man, we got Ricky Davis off the bench as a cheat code. I agree. That's Ricky Davis is fire. I do love Ricky Davis. Still have his jersey.
I had to make sure Ronnie Lester was still alive.
He's probably the best.
He's only 66.
The bench. Yeah, no, I think he played in the 90s, 80s. So, yeah, it's probably the 80s because my dad's almost turning 60. Actually, he's turned 59 today, so happy birthday, Corey.
Oh, shoot. Happy birthday, Uncle Corey. I hope you're listening to this.
He might. I've talked to him about it a couple times.
He's our only listener.
The Wieskamp hate has to stop. Yes, Wieskamp belongs in this conversation.
I think if you're looking at this from the lens of I think it is very clear based on the guys who got picks that were role players for their team, quote unquote. It is clear that we picked the guys that we watched. We picked Joe Wieskamp, we picked Jordan Bohannon, guys like that. I think it is understandable to think that in an all-time Hawkeye draft, there are enough number one options who were good number one options that role player guys who are more so role players probably is understandable that they would be left off of an 8-round fantasy draft.
Someone's got to shoot threes, and if you go that was your 3-point shooter guy. And if you look at the great Hawkeyes prior to 2000, 1990, there's not a lot of guys who will get you a good 3-and-D. So we got Wieskamp. Oh, there we go. Here's the hate for the McCollum pick. Hasn't even coached a game. While to include the guy. And
then Mitchell rats you out immediately.
I did. I think it's a bad pick.
I am super high on his culture, and it's exciting. My team's super exciting because they still have something to prove. So I got that little chip on the shoulder. I'm excited for that. And notice how he didn't even include Sturts. So this guy obviously is very high on Sturts.
That's also true. I was surprised we got a couple comments on Ben McCollum, but no comments on Bennett Sturts. Which, I mean, I guess more people are probably aware of the coaching hire than all of the transfers that we had.
Independent Camp 2328 is very interested in this pod. If I guess I could go on Reddit after this and drop the link to it. But yeah, thank you for the positive comment.
Thank you for the one positive comment and the rest of us
look,
telling
Ricky
us
Davis is a cheat code. That was a positive comment.
That's true, and that was me. Yay!
That was you.
There's
the other one was Reggie
comments.
Evans, which I think is Aaron.
What was that?
I think the other positive comment that we got was about Reggie Evans being a double-double machine.
Yeah, that's why I picked him. We got multiple Ricky Davis thumbs up on here, so that might be the steal of the draft, as far as these comments say.
Let's go. Yeah. I'm the GOAT. Sorry, I was making sure you didn't click that last comment. Don't click it. It's bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
Just ignore it.
It's not going to show the video, so I am intrigued now.
Oh, you just opened his.
No, you gotta. Yeah, there it is. That's not good. No, yeah. I'll take. No, we're not even gonna acknowledge it, but I'll take the compliment on Ricky Davis. I'm glad I pulled through. If it makes him feel better, I tried to redraft Jared Utoff right after that, but they don't have to know that.
I forgot about that.
Shooters shoot, right? Unfortunately, the shooter I got then was Jordan Bohannon.
Oh man, yeah, good draft. No one really gave us any best team out of these three. So it was a tie. Congratulations, everyone, on the tie.
We're all winners.
That's how ties work.
Oh, man. Well, that was our Reddit post. Thank you for everyone who interacted. And big shout out to those who are actually positive about it.
All two of you.
All two of you.
Spent 35 minutes talking about that.
Yeah, let's get into some actual Hawkeye stuff going on right now.
If it makes anyone feel better, we spent 45 minutes figuring out how to make Aaron's microphone work. So
I just got to keep switching.
Look, we can just
every
have this
single
be an episode and then move on to the next episode.
I might just lump it in.
All right, sounds good.
I
I didn't know if you'd want a separate, breaking down the draft Reddit episode and then talking about actual basketball.
That sounds like a lot of editing that I just don't have the energy for.
Isn't it just splitting at once?
Yeah, I don't have time for that.
All right, fair enough.
All right, let's get to the secret scrimmages. We talked about last time how scoreboard didn't look great for the Hawks for that, but Ben McCollum kind of just pointed out what I was thinking, at least, of what this was meant to be. And yeah, I know Mitchell had a comment. He texted me about it earlier. So Mitchell, what are your thoughts on Iowa's secret scrimmage?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's never fun to be in a situation where you go play a school that is considerably smaller than you, such as St. Louis, and lose by 25. I think actually, if you scroll down, just so I can get the quote right, I have a pet peeve about misquoting things. Keep going. You know the one I'm looking for. Yes, right here. So Ben McCollum, in an interview, for those of you who don't know, basically was like, we kind of just threw the guys in the deep end. I'll just read his quote straight up. It says, "We kind of allow our guys to solution find," Iowa head coach Ben McCollum said. "We kind of allow them to suffer and see if they can work through some problems. So the scrimmages don't usually feel good." And I think that that's a super, I get what he's going for. Obviously, like he said, it's never fun to lose, but at the same time, it is very much all right, you've been playing together. Now I'm going to throw you into the deep end, learn how to swim. And I appreciate that. I think it'll give them, I think they interviewed Trevin Kirkin, if my memory is correct. I just read this article literally.
Trevin Urach?
Or yes, yeah. And he talked about some of the things they needed to improve on, but one of the things that was mentioned in one of the interviews, I don't remember if it was Trevin's interview, but it was just it was kind of nice to move from a practice setting where you're playing with the same guys all the time to actually being able to put other bodies in front of you. And the fact that McCollum talked about it being hey, we want to allow our guys to solution find, probably means that the coaches weren't really doing anything other than watching the lineups that they were putting out there and allowing guys to get PT and get run with each other against a team that they don't have any scouting on. That was another part of the article, that there was no scouting done. So they were just showing up. And I presume St. Louis probably had some sort of preparation. I don't actually know. But anyway, yeah, it was, like I said, obviously not fun to kind of get waxed by a team that is very clearly supposed to be nowhere near as good as us. But at the same time, given the way that they went about it, given the things that coaches talked about and players talked about after the fact, I think it'll be good in the long run to kind of get that experience.
Yeah, I agree.
St. Louis comes out and they say, yeah, we actually had our third stringers out there the whole time. Then we should probably be a little concerned. I don't think
Jimmy Butler. That's all it was.
The GOAT.
Yeah, no,
I got some jerseys in the closet.
Man, rest in peace, Jimmy Butler, Heat era, and Wolves era. I'm next.
And also every other era except for Warriors.
For now.
76ers and Bulls.
So with the scrimmage, I know that was a head assistant coach, Josh Sash. He was just kind of describing what it was like, and it was more hey, from a coaching perspective, I think we had our starters and Bennett out there until I don't know, 4 minutes into the second quarter, and they never really touched the floor again. So it was very much like NBA preseason vibes, where it's hey, we're gonna give our main guys a run for the first quarter or two, just to see just make sure they're good to go, see what they can do, and then the rest of it is practically for development of the young players to just hey, here's all the vibes of a actual game against opponents that are at the same level as you are. Go out and show us what you can do. What do we have to improve on? What are we doing well? And I really don't think the scoreboard was in mind throughout the scrimmage.
thought they said they didn't even have the score going. Maybe I misread that.
No,
But
you're right on that.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, so I don't know how they got the final score, and maybe they had some like managers to sit back and because when I played high school basketball, we did that against a team up north, and yeah, it also got ugly, but that was just because that team was significantly worse. But yeah, like with this, it was just more like focusing on sets or whatever. And Coach McCollum actually spoke a couple things that I wrote down. He said his first season at Northwest, they beat the number one NAIA team, which Mitchell is a former NAIA hooper. You know that the number one NAIA team should be able to beat like your average D2 team, and they went 12-15 that year after beating the number one NAIA team in a scrimmage. And what was that?
I just said that was funny.
And that was just because he said, "Hey, we took that scrimmage seriously." They're like, "We need to go out and win this scrimmage because obviously you want to be competitive." But that was his main thing. And then he also had another story from Northwest where they got beat by just a really bad team prior. And that was the season they went out and went 38-0 and won the national championship.
Good stuff. Incoming 38-0 national championship season?
That's exactly what I'm saying. And then
You heard it here first.
And my picks won't look that bad, will they?
I was going to say, if that happens, then Aaron's list should be reconsidered.
I would reconsider. I would draft Ben McCollum number 1 if he led us to a 38-0 season and we won the national championship and then he retired immediately afterward. I would still draft him number 1.
Yeah, no, that's all this to say is that I know, we're a bigger program with more fans and everyone wants to freak out at a scrimmage in October. But like we're not really we're playing our hardest, but from like a coaching perspective, the goal of this scrimmage was not to go out and win. It was to see what can we improve upon. And I think we did just that.
Which shows maturity for McCollum as well. I mean, I think it'd be a little silly to do anything else.
Absolutely. All right, let's get down to that was the good, here's the bad. So, the last like 2 episodes before this one, I think it was Jesse that brought it up both times, maybe Mitchell brought it up. But when we were drafting, remember how we had that talk about, all right, we have our teams, who would win in a bar fight?
I have brought this up both times, and I want to say that Tavion Banks must be a listener because he heard loud and clear. He understood the assignment.
So, yeah, Iowa basketball player Tavion Banks arrested after altercation with staff at Iowa City Brewery. I want to figure out which brewery it was.
It was a Reunion.
Reunion. That would be one of the last places I would expect a fight to go break out at.
Yeah.
1:15 a.m. Sunday. Bro, you gotta get some sleep the night before. You got church in the morning. We can't be out here doing this. But
that might be part of the issue.
Hey,
Brother just wasn't ready for church.
If he's listening, we have multiple great churches in the Iowa City area. Probably not downtown, but we got a lot of great churches that are Bible believing and put your faith in God. And I'm not saying you're going to be perfect, but I will say that hey, if you have some struggles there, that might help you out a little bit.
No, he's our 78 overall 0708 Kenyon Martin. I just pulled up the graph of all of Aaron's player comparisons.
He's good. But yeah, I know it'd be easy to just get on here and see this and go, oh, this is Ben McCollum's culture is garbage, and this is a garbage person because he did this. Look, he's a kid. He made a mistake. He's young, and I'm not excusing what he did, but let's not go out here and just act like he's the worst person on the face of the planet for making a mistake. And in the words of Deshaun Watson, when he was in the words of Jameis Winston, when he was talking about Deshaun Watson, it goes,
that's very different.
Yeah. He goes, and now I see how he works, and now he's got another obstacle to go through. And I'm going to be here for him, and I'm going to be praying for him.
I want to hear the Deshaun Watson quote, but yeah, that was a lot better.
What is a good Deshaun Watson quote?
No, I think I don't think we're setting ourselves up for success on that one.
I try to do the right things.
I'm sorry. That's unfortunate.
815 is the neighborhood I was born and raised in. 815 Harrison Square is the exact. Oh, brocious.
That's a self-dox. That's odd.
Okay, yeah. No,
all right.
the Deshaun Watson quotes is something I didn't expect to be that entertaining, but here we are. Anyways, yeah. I hope Tavion can get it figured out. I'm sure he'll face some sort of disciplinary action from the university and probably from coaching staff as well. But wish nothing but the best for him and repent and believe the gospel if you don't already. Now, let's get to the new threads here for the good old Hawkeyes. If you don't know, Iowa Hawkeyes yesterday, 2 days ago, released their new uniforms, and it was only the home one. I think the away one might be the Tiger Hawk in the black uniform. But here's what this article says: the Iowa Hawkeyes men's basketball team is going to look a lot different this season. The Hawkeyes already have a new head coach, Ben McCollum, assistant coaches, new roster. They're not done. There'll be going to be some new jerseys. They took to X on Tuesday to reveal an exclusive look at some new uniforms for the rotation. Hype video and new jerseys take inspiration from the home jerseys the Hawkeyes have worn in recent years, using the same font and the numbers, last name, and Iowa in the front. Then they line the outside of the jersey with the signature Hawkeye gold stripe, very reminiscent of Iowa's football jerseys. They also added the gold stripe at the waist and at the bottom of the shorts, which also features the Tiger Hawk logo. Sleek and modern new take on the Iowa jerseys with a little bit of retro feel. New jersey will rotate out of the rotations of the other jerseys, like the script Iowa and big Tiger Hawk logo ones. And yeah, here for the U2, you can kind of see what the new unis look like.
They're not bad. I just feel like they look like every other college uniform. I mean, I know, like I sent you guys the UCLA home jerseys, very reminiscent. Mitchell, I think you mentioned Michigan.
I was going to say, I really think they look like Michigan's jerseys as well.
I kind of thought they looked like Missouri's.
But I mean, yeah, I'm very similar to Jesse. I mean, they're clean, but like you said, they do kind of just look like normal college jerseys.
Yeah,
I think we need. Sorry.
No, you can go ahead.
Well, I just want them to bring back the shorts that go like way down, that look like capris. Let's go back to like early 2000s.
Yeah, I missed that. My knees are showing. I'm not happy with it. But yeah, I mean, I just really wish the Hawks would just dive into the script. Like, that's always been sick. And so just like we have the current script uniforms, use that as our main home, then make them black, and that's in our away uniforms. Like, I think that's a really easy fix, and we would look sleek 24/7.
I mean, in all seriousness, I think I probably, like, if I hadn't seen, because I saw this before we talked about it, obviously, or like when it was announced. I think if I wouldn't have seen this announcement, I probably wouldn't have noticed that they were new uniforms.
I guess my biggest thing I noticed is the shorts. The shorts look better, I will admit.
Okay.
They didn't like the giant Tiger Hawk on the side of the shorts?
Well, they had that weird thing though, like where they had a different color on the bottom of the shorts up until like,
yeah,
if you know what I'm talking about, like that is odd to me. I think that kind of ran its course. So shorts, they look good. Again, it's not my most exciting jersey, but it's got improvements.
I'm sure it'll grow on me. I just think it's fine, not terrible. All right, now let's get to a little bit of just general college basketball, still tied back into the Hawkeyes. So the preseason AP poll came out. Not that matters too much because, no one's tipped off yet. But the Hawkeyes, we didn't make the top 25. However, T-Mobile, we are, and we received some votes. And we got 6 of them, I believe, to be exact. But yeah, we got some votes. And
sorry, can you scroll back down? 1 sec. You keep talking. I'm just wanted to see that.
I think if you add it out, I think we're 36.
Oh, 37th or 38th.
All right, 37th. Yeah, I think that's a fair place to put us. Just outside of 25. There should be some big improvements coming, but nothing that we can stand on.
Kills me to see Iowa State have literally 100 times more votes than us, but we haven't proved ourselves like the state has.
Oh, yeah. I also want to point out that, like, okay, yes, I feel like being in like the 35 to 40 range is probably reasonable considering the turnover that we've had. But like, we still feel like we're going to be able to like be not completely terrible, However, we're in the 35 to 40 range. We're like listed to be like 11th or 12th in the Big Ten, I think, which is kind of wild considering, like, I don't know, just like the Big Ten makes up literally a full quarter of like the first 36 or 37 teams, which is kind of crazy.
Take a look at above, like USC. I think we can be better than USC.
Washington.
Ohio State. We literally beat them in the Big Ten tournament. Yeah, Washington's right there. That was a good catch. Yeah, just like, again, I don't know a lot about the other teams in the Big Ten, but I feel like a lot of teams above us we can definitely take down.
Yeah. Or at least like teams that we can be competitive with.
Yeah. Yeah, I think obviously the goal is, get into March and maybe win a couple, but in order to get there, you probably have to be a top. What? How many SEC teams were in the tournament last year?
I have no idea.
16. So I think if we get to that, we'll have our shot at least. Oh,
Oh, whoa, easy there.
horrible misspell there. Really, only 8 last year? That's crazy. SEC bias goes insane there. But
Isn't it always?
you're right. Every sport. But yeah, they're projecting Purdue to be 1, Michigan 2. I heard Michigan has a really good transfer class, so that's fair. UCLA 3, Illinois 4, Michigan State 5, Wisconsin 6. But yeah,
on the upside, if UCLA makes it, we can just say no, we're actually UCLA because of our jerseys.
That's true. We'll just show up for them. We'll go blue. All right, with that, I don't think I have much. Like the preseason poll probably just doesn't really mean much to me. I just know that that's our starting point in terms of the polls, and so I think that's a good place to start, at least receiving votes. And if we can get off to a hot start, then we'll be top 25 before we know it.
There you go. 38-0 incoming.
What was that?
38-0 incoming.
Exactly. You have to get waxed in your scrimmage, and then you'll have a good season. So let's just talk. This isn't Iowa related, but it's college basketball related. Just the disrespect. Loyola Chicago wore this past honor Sister Jean this season. This is AI. This is so obviously AI.
100%. There is zero doubt. That is 100% AI. It takes you about a millisecond to determine that is not created by a graphic designer. If it is, I'm sorry, but there's no way.
Like you're telling me that this woman gave everything to your university. She died at 106, and you honor her by giving her an AI patch?
They're probably going to use AI to make her talk on the big screen.
Why would Allen Iverson be doing all of these things?
He's been busy since he retired, man.
I know.
Well, he's got to pay off that gambling debt, so he probably is taking it.
He didn't get a 2-year break like MJ did.
He did get, I'm pretty sure Reebok just said, hey, we found you a bunch of money to get him out of debt one time. There was like this really weird circumstance where like, oopsies, we owe you like $30 million. He's like, oh, perfect.
What a coincidence. That's exactly how much I owe my casinos.
I need to pay that back immediately or I will be murdered. So thank you.
Hey, you know who owns Adidas or Reebok? It's probably both. Loyola Chicago. Whenever they get to like UNI, because they play UNI this year, don't they?
I have no idea.
Go Cats. I don't know the schedule.
Because I think they're in the same. Should probably specify men's college basketball. They're in the same conference, aren't they? In Missouri Valley.
Yes, the OMV.
So
I didn't know they were. I should have known that.
Yeah. Do you even love the Cats, Jesse?
I love the Cats, Aaron, but it's a different thing.
Oh, they play them in Palm Springs? Do they play them twice? Or yeah, they just play them once in Palm Springs. That's so weird.
The Missouri Valley hype, again, I love my Cats, proud Panther, but it's not the same thing.
I was gonna say if they played in Iowa, we might as well just go there and just start booing them just because they did Sister Jean wrong.
I will make my own Sister Jean patch, and then we will get UNI jerseys and we will put them on there out of spite.
We're gonna honor your legend better than you honor your own legend.
It wouldn't take much. They literally did the bare minimum here.
Yeah, it's not looking good for the Catholic Church here. I'll just say that.
Well,
so past that, speaking of UNI, Bucks and AJ Green have agreed to a 4-year, $45 million extension. Your boy is getting paid. Jesse, how do you feel as a UNI alum?
Love AJ Green. Was fortunate enough to go to school while he was balling out. And I will say 2 dubs for AJ Green in the same week because he was also out there sharing the gospel on the Bucks Twitter. So AJ he's balling out in more than one way, and happy to see him get paid. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know if we've mentioned it on this podcast, but pretty sure China considers him the GOAT. I don't know if you said that, Mitchell, or you, Aaron.
No, I think Aaron sent it to both of us, probably.
I did.
And I think Chinese people got it right.
Yeah. The one dude just didn't speak any sort of English, and so he starts mumbling, and the guy just goes, "You think the GOAT's AJ Green?" Yes.
Dude knows ball. Honestly, though, looking at this contract, I think if AJ Green lives up to his full potential, this will actually be a steal. I know $45 million over 4 years sounds like a lot if you're not totally up to date on what NBA players are getting paid, but that has the potential to be a steep discount if he's balling out in 2-3 years.
Yeah, as it stands right now, if you're not aware of NBA cap situation, so that's what was it, 4 years, 45 million?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so that's 11.25 million a year. That's probably someone who is a decent rotation bench player that you want to keep. And so I think it's fair for what he's doing right now. But if he's able to kind of grow into I guess I didn't watch a ton of Bucks basketball. I mean, I did follow generally how AJ Green was doing just because I generally follow all the players who played at Iowa schools. But I mean, if he's able to carve out a kind of low key JJ Redick type role over the next 4 years, absolutely, that'll be a really good contract from Milwaukee.
Incoming 6th man of the year.
I'll give him a firm second place behind Naz Reid.
Yeah, and Vando. So the second contract for Michael Jordan, I just want to point out, was 8 years, and the average salary under that 8 years was about $3 million.
Okay,
AJ Green is in 4 years going to make $20 million more than Michael Jordan did in 8.
Well, okay.
Well, let's. You can't just.
So
say
who's
that
the GOAT? Who's the GOAT?
Context.
Yeah, that's okay. I don't even know what to do with that, Aaron.
NBA contract values have doubled in the last decade. In 2015, Mike Conley signed the most expensive contract in NBA history for $30 million a year because it was kind of stagnant for a couple decades or a decade before that. But he signed the one that was for $30 million, and now, man, somebody just I don't know. I feel like Shea's is probably huge. Let me check.
I remember
Alexander contract extension, 4-year, $285 million. That is a total of $71 million a year.
That is insane.
What do you even do with that money?
SGA, if you're listening, we just want one. You've got all these millions. We just want one. Please.
Yeah. We'll tithe 10% of it.
We'll tithe 20. We'll tithe 20.
I'd be willing to tithe 20.
Look at our generosity.
Yeah, speaking of people getting paid, now that we've touched on the Panther, this Hawkeye, Keegan Murray, is getting 5 years, $140 million added to the end of his rookie contract.
And he'll be playing with Westbrook, as we just found out yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you go first.
Oh, Westbrook just changed his number. It was nothing important.
Okay. I love Keegan Murray. I'm very glad that he has found a solid place in the NBA and looks as though he is going to have a long career. This feels a little high for a guy who hasn't really gotten any better over the course of the few years that he's been in the league.
Well, yeah, if you think offensively.
I am thinking offensively. I mean, exactly. I guess has he really? I've only watched I watched probably a grand total of 4 Kings games last year. I guess has he improved tremendously as a defender?
He has. He has been kind of their main wing defender for the Kings.
All right, fair enough then. Okay, I think I take my
that speaks both for the improvement of Keegan Murray's defense and the defense of the Kings in general.
I was going to say, what defense on the Kings? I agree he's the best defender on the Kings, but I don't think the bar is set very high.
He's been able to stay with the stars of the league, maybe hold them under average in terms of efficiency and scoring. But yeah, he's a good defender, and he's gotten tremendously better at that in the last couple of years.
Yeah. I guess like my thought process here is like, okay, so Keegan Murray just signed a 5-year, $140 million a year deal. Jaden McDaniels, well, I think last offseason signed a 5-year, $136 million extension. And I don't think there's a situation where like you can like they're probably pretty similar on the offensive end. It looks like both of them average like 12, 13 points a game. I just kind of in that kind of range. And so that makes sense. But McDaniels is like very clearly a better defender. And so I don't know. Again, I'm not like I'm glad he got the bag. I truly am. I'm all for like Iowa players getting their bags. But yeah, I think as an NBA fan, to be fair, I think there are a good percentage of contracts in the NBA where players are like probably paid more than they actually provide value to their team. But anyway, I'm glad he got the bag. I guess I can finalize that.
Hey, is this it's silly asking because we're looking at an ESPN article, but is this an ESPN stat here? Keegan Murray is one of 3 players to record 500 3-pointers, 150 blocks, and 150 steals over the past 3 seasons with Ant and Derek White.
That's 4 categories, so I would say yes.
Still an impressive stat.
It is. It's not, I think it's 4, so it's not bad. I think for those of you listening, the way that we have typically defined quote ESPN stats is like, okay, if there are 3 or less like qualifiers, then it is not an ESPN stat. But if there are more than 3 qualifiers, it's generally kind of like a little bit contrived to make certain people look good. And but 4 is like not terrible, and this is 4. And you know the fact that it's this article here says that the other 2 players in that group are Anthony Edwards and Derek White, who are both like Ant hopefully is going to be in the MVP conversation this coming year as a Wolves fan. Derek White is like an all-star caliber performer, to be honest. Well, I mean he is in the East. He probably wouldn't be in the West, but we don't need to get into that.
Oh gosh. I didn't even take a look at the second half. He serves as the Kings' perimeter defender, guarding 2025 All-Stars for 1,005 half-court matchups last season. 5th most in the NBA.
That is a lot.
This is coming out the Fran McCaffrey tree, by the way.
Again, he is their best defender, but the rest of the Kings roster, I mean, if you scan that quick, who else?
Yeah, there's nobody else. That team is going to be all offense.
Dennis Schroeder, now Russell Westbrook, DeRozan.
It's looking like
Malik Monk.
I'm looking at their probable starting 5. Oh, where's Keegan?
They already traded him.
So they're telling me that their starting 5 is going to be Dennis Schroeder, Keon Ellis, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Domantas Sabonis. And Keegan Murray just doesn't exist anymore, so shout out to him.
He's not on that list, but Westbrook, who was added to the team yesterday, is on this list. This is ESPN, too, people.
Is Keegan injured?
Oh, yeah. He just had to get like surgery on his thumb or something.
Yeah, but they've got like DeRozan and Sabonis are both injured too, and Monk.
Oh, this is the new one. CBS decided that they would add injured players on here. But yeah, usually you're going to take a look at Keegan. The guys who are also in the rotation, Dennis Schroeder, not a defender. Keon Ellis, not a great defender. Zach LaVine, not a defender. DeMar DeRozan, not a defender. Sabonis, not a defender. Westbrook, not a great defender. Malik Monk, former Laker, horrible defender. Doug McDermott is still in the league.
I love Dougie
McBuckets.
I like how the Kings are just the Cincinnati Bengals of the NBA.
Yeah, absolutely.
We are going to spend all of our money on offense, and we're just going to pray.
They're going to average 125 points per game, give up 127 points per game. Light the beam, baby. So with that...
It is almost 11. We should get back to Iowa.
So I'm not going to... Did you guys have any thoughts on just Ben McCollum's media day?
No.
Not particularly.
That's great because I have many. So first off, insane podium. Did you see the podium?
No. Sorry, Aaron. We didn't get this far. I didn't think we were going to get this far.
I also, yeah, I might have to dip here soon.
This is an insane podium that I never knew we even had. Come on, show it. It's the Iowa eye.
That's actually really dope. That's incredible.
The T in this photo. So I thought that was insane. I'll do a little speed run of my thoughts here.
It looks like the Teen Titans Tower from that crop. It's like where the Teen Titans live.
Gonna have Robin running out of here. So here are my quick thoughts. He shouted out the media, which that was great. That was really nice. KF never does that. He talked about how guys needed to adjust to their intensity first in practice, which is just I love hearing that. He talked about how they won't protect the rim, they will protect the paint. And the way he means by that is the way their defense is set up, they don't want anyone getting into the paint in the first place. So like obviously if you don't have like a true center, like you're gonna try to avoid that. Which is good with a lot of forwards. My favorite thing I wrote down was Ben McCollum is actually a basketball psycho and basketball sicko, and I freaking love it. Because like he'll make a joke about something and his face will go like from laughing to just like locked in like that. Like Joe Mazzulla is who I'm thinking of when we talk about Ben McCollum in the media. Talked about being like an anti-fear coach. Like he doesn't want to instill like fear into his players. Or like, oh shoot, if I mess up, he's gonna come and shoot me or something. But he does say that those fear coaches don't really start very well, which is why he likes like just the intensity without like the aggression. And then lastly, we have like 5 minutes here. Can we get to the Iowa team scrimmage and my thoughts there?
We've self-imposed a shot clock on this podcast.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be almost 2 hours.
So I love the energy in the opening tip with this team scrimmage, like tip the ball, and I think it was Cale Combs, wasn't it? I'm just gonna talk about Cale Combs for like a minute here because if I got anything from that scrimmage is how much I love Cale Combs now. So before I get to that, just want to say that can't give Hassan an inch of space because he will drain it in your face, which is just I love seeing that. Just offensively. That was my offensive thoughts. Here's my defensive thoughts. So the rotations on this team I think could use a little bit of work. There were a couple times like I think it was Tavian Banks went in to go on help defense, and the guy right there, I think it might have been Koch, not Cooper Koch, but the other one, who was supposed to rotate and help out on Trey Thompson, and they didn't, and Trey Thompson cut to the basket and just yammed it on everyone, which is also another thing I'd like to say is just I watched 4 minutes of this, and Trey Thompson already had a dunk in the scrimmage, so I'm really excited to watch some Trey Thompson this year. Now for my final rant on Cale Combs. He just really stands out to me as like the defender on this team. And like I counted like 4 or 5 different deflections he had on honestly Alvaro Fulgaris quite a bit. And it's just the way that he's in the perfect spot every single time they're trying to pass the ball to whoever he's guarding is just fantastic, and it makes me just very excited to watch some Cale Combs this year. He just has a really good defensive mentality. He's just when you think of defense, you think of how can I like show effort against my matchup against this offense for just a second when you see like kind of they can think like, oh, I can take this second off because we're not really doing anything. And that's when he strikes. And that is I love seeing that. It's kind of like whenever Cale Combs sees his matchup going like, oh, I can take a little bit of break here. Blood in the water. He is a shark, and he's going to take advantage of that. I can't say enough about Cale Combs. Yeah, that's really my whole rant on the scrimmage I saw. So big W to Cale Combs. He might be my favorite to watch this year.
Ditto. Just second whatever Aaron says. Mitchell and I didn't do our homework through and through. We got up through like 80%.
No,
I tried to watch
it,
it, and it wouldn't let me watch it in anything greater than 144p, and I just decided that it wasn't worth it.
This one pixel moved very well on this possession.
You really did, yeah.
It's like when I went to go see the LeBron Big Three, and I was in the nosebleeds at the Timberwolves in Target Center, and
yeah,
that's about what I saw. Was like, hey, I think that's LeBron. I don't know that dot down there. That's probably LeBron. Cool.
Speaking of LeBron, Aaron and I, we're gonna see him, and now he won't. In 12, we have tickets to the Wolves Lakers game in 12 days. And
wow.
I was like, dang, it's like game 5 of the season. People are going to be healthy. And now LeBron's out.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. He's out.
Probably was going to be our only chance.
I love how it went from like, sorry, been talking. I love how it went from like, oh, great. Like we're going to see LeBron and this whole team up close. And then LeBron's like, I have an announcement. And we're like, oh shoot, we're gonna see his retirement tour. This is insane. Oh, it was just an ad. Oh, we're back to like, oh, we can see like healthy players at least. Oh, no, not anymore. Actually, LeBron's out for 3-4 weeks. So I have a built-in excuse if we lose. But everyone's thinking, oh, like the obvious pick is like, hey, we'll put in Rui Hashimura to go replace LeBron for these 3 or 4 weeks. And yeah, I guess that's off the bench the most similar play style. But I'm a sicko, and I just think, you know what? We have Luka, we have Reeves. Ayton's a threat offensively.
Is he?
Yeah, he's good from the mid range, and he can finish a lot.
Is he? You sure about
Correct.
that?
He's more of a threat offensively than he is defensively.
We're in Minnesota. The icy roads might prevent him from getting to the game.
Yeah,
in October.
I think he's going to be a wash, Aaron. I agree with Mitchell on this. I don't understand the hype.
My hype for him is that he will be an upgrade over Jackson Hayes.
You know what? That's reasonable. I'm not high on DeAndre Ayton, but I am high on any player in the NBA being better than Jackson Hayes.
But yeah, my sicko mentality is telling me like, hey, we have Reeves and we have Luka. Heck it, put in Marcus Smart and Vanderbilt in starting lineup. Let's play some defense for once.
Also, I think part of the reason I hate DeAndre Ayton so much is he's part of the reason that Dame never came to the Heat, even though he specifically requested it. But I won't dive into that.
As long as you're not requesting a trade from our rec league, I'm pretty happy.
I will not request a trade. We'll see how the first game goes.
Oh man, but yeah, with that, are you guys ready to go to bed? Because I got to wake up in like 6 hours in order to get to old man basketball on time tomorrow morning.
Yeah, Aaron and I got b-ball early. Mitchell's sleeping in.
Yes.
Bussy wants to come.
Yeah, you can. I invited you once and then we didn't have it, so that was fun.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're gonna end this conversation right now. We all got to get to bed and have our obligations. But thank you for tuning in and listening to Bench Mob Carver. We always appreciate your listens. And God bless and go Hawks.
And we love you.